Check. Sound check. Sound check. Sound check. Starting stream. Starting stream. Okay, I think we're live. Good morning. It's like I'm set up back in the basement again. I think we're live. Turn this down again. It was nice working upstairs, but working in that low table with those low monitors without my monitor arms and stuff is giving me like an incredible backache after a week of working there. So I'm back up here, and this is my setup here. Let's pan luxuriously over this. Oof. So here's my MacBook. This monitor is connected to the MacBook. This is the PC. So these two monitors are PC. This is over there, but I'm using this one mouse and keyboard combination. It's a wired mouse because of Bluetooth issues, but I can actually move the mouse across both monitors thanks to a piece of software called Synergy. But finding it difficult to see for some reason this morning. Yeah, so I'm down here and I can actually raise this desk too if I need to, because it's a standing desk, but I don't feel like standing today. Let's see, what are we doing? 15 minutes in the morning. So what am I doing for my 15 minutes? I think this is going to be the last JavaScript-based thing I'm going to do for a while. Because I just want to do something different. It's been, 40 days. It was 40 days of doing this nerd project, 15 minutes a day. And I kind of want to do something different for a while. It's been a long time. The 15 minutes a day is manageable. I just think I want to take a break from it, or I want to take Sundays off. It might have been nice to sleep in today. I'm still not quite used to having a morning schedule. At least I'm waking up around 6:30 every day. But I'll end up going to sleep at 2 a.m. Like I went to sleep at 2 a.m. last night, so I got about 4 hours of sleep. And I know I'm just going to fall asleep after this again and wake up at noon. Unless I try to gut through it. But I'm not sure how well that's going to work. Let me review where I was yesterday on my project. Seems like a million years ago. So let me switch to the desktop view. Noink. And let me pull up Quiver. Noink. Let me emit a message into the chat room. I'm in the live stream, which is, for some reason I can't grab anything here. There we go. So in here, if I type in this is my Discord chat, which you can get to on davidsay.com/discord. Now streaming 7 a.m. project. Chat is at davidsay.com Discord and the live stream chat. Excuse me. Never thought about doing this. You can actually put the announcements in here. People can actually read them. But this is my co-working chat room. This is where we're trying to figure out why it's interesting. I had dinner with Dan Young last night, and we were talking about our various projects. He does a lot of video production work at the local cable access station and produces some, I think he says something like 20 TV shows at a time for people there. So we were talking about he's in the chat room, and he's found it really useful to just we're not sure what to call it. It's like some people described it as kind of like a support group. He called it like a study group, and I'm thinking like there's aspects of that that are similar, but there's something kind of supportive and helpful, and I don't know. It's maybe the shared sense of like people working on something that's important to them. That helps, and knowing that you're not the only person trying to do that, especially if you're a freelancer and working at home, or you have a very individualized type of work that no one else can relate to. This is a room full of people that can probably relate to that. I don't know. It's too early to philosophize about anything. So let's look at my continuity log here. And what did they do yesterday? Oh yes, right now I'm working on something called Gulp and Metalsmith, which are technologies that allow one to build a website from a raft load of component files. It's a fancy way of saying it's a website generator, and rather than having to code directly into website code, you can code into little chunks of it, and it will make a complete website out of it if you put all the parts together. It's basically a website building erector set or Lego set, or more of a technical set than a Lego set. So you can make it do cool things if you know how to stick stuff together, which I don't know how to do yet, which is why I'm using this as my project. The ultimate goal is to make a website where I can showcase what nerdy things are going on in the area of the world I live in, Nashua, New Hampshire, because this is a kind of beacon, and so it'd be cool to have a website and a print piece that went along with like what we're doing here, which is regular nerdy stuff. Like there's one guy I know who's building an electric motorcycle. He might have finished it already, for all I know. There are people who like eating, and so I'm obsessed about sandwiches, for example. And making pizza. There are people making jewelry. There are people who are, making paper mache armor for cosplay. There's LARPers, but they make some really cool high-end pictures. So I know like a really great photographer, Sid Caesar, who takes gorgeous photos. They make a really nice, it's like a super high-end, mysterious magazine that just appears someday, and people are going, "What the heck is that?" And it's logo, really? And then there's a website? That's kind of the reaction that I want to get. And beyond that, there's no reason for it other than to make it happen. Once it happens, maybe we figure out what it's good for. I'm thinking it's good for putting the nerd community together, doing something fun. At least fun for me. So, that's why this is a 15-minute morning project, because it's a big, strange project, and if I had to sit and do it all at once, I might not do it. In fact, this project sat dormant for a long time. Breaking it up into 15 minutes at a time seems to at least make things move. And the fun thing for me about the 15-minute mornings is that it actually feels like an accomplishment. You would think that 15 minutes isn't enough to do something, and it's a challenge for me to sometimes just keep it to 15 minutes. But every day, something gets done, and it helps set the tone for me for the day. Once I get something out of the way, it's like, oh, I got something done that was related to one of my own personal projects. The rest of the day is gravy. I don't know if that's an expression that's understood around the world, but it means it's good. It's extra. Anything else I have during the day is the sauce on top of a good dish. You already had the good dish. Sauce is extra goodness. So alright, what time is it? It's 7:10. Might as well start this thing. I did remember to bring my timer downstairs, which is good. 15 minutes. Starting. Like, it's actually going. So now that the clock is on, what am I doing? Yesterday I was trying to get a feature called live reload working on the new website. And I didn't quite get it to work. So what I need to do is figure out how to make this work. No, crap. What did I just do? I'm on a different mouse than the one I was using upstairs, and all the buttons are different on it. And there we go. So Quiver, that should be on this side. On this side, we want to pull up a browser. I said, yep, there's a browser. And we also want to pull up Sublime Text, which is where my text editor is. And there's the text editor. And then over this side, I need to pull up a terminal window, because that's where we're going to run the build tool. And where'd it go? It went over here. Let me make sure it's showing. Yeah, it's showing in the corner there. Move it over here. And why is it so large? Make this down to 12 high. I think it will fit. And then in this window, I can type in, what typing needs to be done. Resizing some things here so I can just see a little bit more. Okay, there we go. So I need to go to my web folder, and then I need to go to Nerd Metal. Then I need to go build, and then so I have two build systems working. The one of them is using Metalsmith directly, and then the other one is a Gulp file, which uses Gulp as the build system. The difference is Gulp is a general purpose one, and Metalsmith is specifically for websites. So there is a plugin, but both build systems are philosophically the same, in that it takes you write a small program that actually does the work you want it to do, as opposed to a traditional build tool, which you configure it to do a bunch of things. So it's kind of like, I guess, to use an analogy that no one is going to understand, using Gulp or Metalsmith is like writing a shader in OpenGL versus using a fixed function graphics pipeline, which would be like a traditional build tool. In other words, rather than setting parameters that tell it what to do, you actually write a little program that tells it what to do, but the programming environment has all the functions you would need to do a particular kind of development task. So it's specialized. It's specialized and at the same time as generalized. So, and what I like about this is that it allows you to actually write code as configuration. And it ends up being super flexible, but it's again like an erector set. You're just given an erector set or a technical set, like one of those Lego technical sets. You kind of need to know what to build, and the first time you build it, it's not going to be clear. So it's a learning process. There's a lot of build tools with the configuration. There's the configuration out of the box that you can kind of use, but then you have to go through the documentation and figure out how to configure. With this, you need to write a little program and understand, what the top level tasks are. And for me, that's a more appealing approach. Although it's taking me a heck of a long time to figure it out. Anyway, so what I'm doing is I am including Metalsmith in Gulp. So getting that to work is where I am today. And so I've been using Dane Peterson's website as an example. I've been studying it, rather. He's a more experienced developer than I am, so he told me that he was using Gulp and Metalsmith for his own website. And so I've been looking at his Gulp configuration file, which is now I'm looking here on the left side. Oops. I need to change my accessibility settings. One moment. And more options. Oops. Adjust size and location. Let's move this over here. Make that bigger. Yeah, so now that I have this set up, this allows me just to zoom in on stuff so you can actually see what I'm looking at. So there's some example gulp tasks. The one I'm working on right now is actually getting it to compile something. So let me, well, it actually compiles now. So if I do gulp, it'll run my default gulp tasks, and you can see it's doing a bunch of stuff. And what it's doing over here, this is the gulp file. The way the gulp works is that you define a bunch of tasks, and then you define task changed. So my default task, which is run if I just type gulp, first it runs clean, build, and serve, and these are all running asynchronously, I think. Is that right? Might be, because this might already be screwed up. In fact, I'm pretty sure I need to move serve out of that. Yeah. I wonder if this is why it's not working. But each of these tasks that's using Metalsmith, like the first part is using Gulp, and Gulp and Metalsmith, they grab a bunch of files. Here are my sources directory. It's in the doc root source, everything in that. And it produces lists of files that are then processed by each of these plugin stages. Here, the pipe thing, pipe is part of, this is part of regular JavaScript. But it's taking the sources from Gulp, and it's passing on this data into the Gulpsmith plugin, which does change it into something that Gulp plugins can process. So this is what I had before. But the old build file, which is here, this is the pure Metalsmith side. This has is this launching the browser and watching for source changes. And I don't have that working. The rest of it seems to work. Although I'm not sure if I have my default task set up correctly here. This could, I might have to do something called a run sequence to make sure the one completes before the other. In fact, if I check this, let's see. Gulp executes its tasks asynchronously. So it goes clean, then it runs Smith, and then it runs build. It looks like it is running synchronously. Starting default. Okay, yeah, so it does all those first. It looks like it's doing it in order, I guess, which is good. Not asynchronously. Although I think it might be actually running asynchronously. And that runs and finishes the fault right away because it's not doing anything. Okay. Not getting very far. Just talking my head off. Now, Dane's source file, he's using something called browser sync, which I think is an Express server plus a watch tool. I am using something called the live reload version, which is a different way of doing the browser reloading stuff. So what I want to try to do is just kind of make this work. And so what do I need to do that? I need to think about how you set up watches, and then how do I kick off this entire process again. So how does he do it? Let's assume, let's think of browser sync as being a whole separate function, and I want to see how he's doing the watch. Here, he's doing pipe into something called reload. What is reload? Reload. Reload is browser sync reload. Okay. So at the end of this, I guess he is putting it into watch. Let's see. So here, on this side, I mean, I'm going to put this into, I guess this is fine. Just shrink it like that. So here's his pipe at the end of it. So if I pipe into this work? I'm trying to think if I have a project that does this live reload stuff in Gulp. I'm using Gulp in this other project. What does my Gulp file look like here? How am I doing the watch? It's a little laboriously put together. I probably don't remember exactly how it works. Run server is my function. Here's a Gulp watch. So I'm telling it to watch a bunch of stuff. So when this watch executes and it matches any of these folders, it kills the server. It's called spawn process, which is, okay, this is a little different than what spawn process does. Is it actually launches another node instance. Well, actually, there should be two watches. So there's one watch here. This is watching for changes in the modules. Here it's doing a notify live reload. So I should be able to do something like that. What does notify live reload do? Let me just copy this to, where can I copy this to? I'll just switch back to Nerd Sublime, and I will shove it down here for now. And let's go back. And where's my notify live reloads and the live reload module that I had to separate out, which is in, I can tell we're going to go for more than 15 minutes. This module, which just barely got working the other day, notify live reload, then it shoves off this change. Oops, I could have pasted it in my. Alright, so here's the bits of code. Just rewrite it a bit. Rather than calling that, let's just insert this there. Event is passed in. That's weird. Changed body. Am I missing something? I'm defining an anonymous function, blah blah blah, tiny reload change, and I'm missing the closing bracket. Is that the right one? Why is it not highlighting? Yeah, that goes with. This one's not finding it. Oh, wait, I'm missing something. So live reload has to close this first. Then it has to do this. There we go. So now it's matching. Okay. And then this is part of a run sequence. First it copies assets, then executes this function. Alright, so I think I can Gulp. Run this as a separate Gulp process. But it's a Smith process. This entire thing becomes the, I think it becomes the watch. Or a different, this becomes Gulp serve. Or no, it becomes Gulp watch. So let's make another task. Gulp task watch function. All this stuff. I think that's. I feel like I'm making some sort of mistake as I'm doing this. I can't tell you what it is. One nice thing about programming, I suppose, is you get to test your half-baked theories. And so Gulp will serve. So we also want to run the express server. How am I doing that in the other aisle? Let's start server. Copy assets, run server. Oh, I'm spawning one here. Let's go for another 15 minutes. Look at my code down here. Is this the way I want to do it? The advantage of doing it this way is I can actually detect if I'm changing server files and just restart it, which is why I was doing it this way. But in the olden times, I did it a different way. Where would I find that? Let me go to GitHub, go to my repo, and look into 1401, and look at some earlier commits. June 15, when did I do the refactor? BG livereload fixes. It's before server crash. Maybe implementing the crashing code isn't a good idea. There's another fixed livereload. Let's look at this one. This is the right, yeah, this is an older build. Dude 24. So if I look at the gulp file here, I can probably get a sense of what I was doing before. Here was my old run server. Oh, is that what I was doing? Yeah. Server 1401 run server. So I need to actually, yeah, this is the first time I was using gulp and trying to expand it to do, or expand the very basic example to do something a little bit more complicated, which is, that's weird. Oh, this is well before I started. So I'm actually manually running the Express server. I can only imagine that that's what the Metalsmith Express plugin is supposed to do. So, okay. Let's go back to Dane's. There is a plugin called Metalsmith Express. The wrong folder. And I know I have it loaded here. Metalsmith Express. That's a Metalsmith command. I could also just launch the server manually instead of using Metalsmith Express, which I think is what I want to do. Alright, so let's do that. Let's look at what we have up here. Or not here, actually where I was before. I guess I want to go forward. Back to this. Oops. This is my start server. This has all my configured livereload stuff in it too. Although I don't think this is going to be running in the correct contents. So when I go back to, I'm in the right gulp file. Nerd Sublime Metal. And there's watch and serve. Here I said things don't work. So watch is a different. There's start server. We don't want any of this stuff. Close servers. Let's not put that junk in there. Let's clean this up. This config is optimized. Do I need any of this stuff? Live reload port, express port. I do need to set those. What would that be? That would be in this. I think live reload port. And this is a note pile. Live reload port. Where's express port defined? That'd be in server 1401. Wait, server. Where's the server? Too many folders. Server. Express port. Go back to Quiver. I should have been just remember that. I'm in this blind copy and paste mode. Yep. Copy. Let's go back to nerd. Here. This is driving me nuts. Oops. Anyone have juice? Nope. And what was I before down here? So, but just an express port. We don't need this optimized thing. These are related to something else. App is express. App set views. View. Okay, don't know all this stuff. Views. View engine. Let's see. Use error handler. Where's error handler defined? Compiled dir. So this is telling it where to load stuff. I think I want to use, instead of compiled dir, I'm telling it to use HTML out. And we don't want it to do any of this template stuff, I don't think. We do want to do the port. Because Metalsmith is supposed to be providing a static site. Compression, JSON. Not sure what this is for. App use error handler. I don't think even setting an environment. Use static HTML out. This router stuff is required for live reload, I think. Config live reload. Index. Config live reload. Optimize. Reload.js. Start it up. Atlas import. That's not necessary. Don't have any of these DP things set. Let's grab that out of the other file. There must be a better way of providing these default prompts. These are kind of messy. Oops. So theoretically, I know I'm missing something. I don't really need to return the server instance, I don't think. There's my serve function. Oh, what will it serve? And more importantly, IP, where's that set? I guess another module that I need to load. Yep. IP. I also need LR, don't I? Oh, error handler's here, isn't it? I need to include all of these things, don't I? Noink. Noink. Express modules. Express, body parser, engines, we're not using compression, favicon, am I using that? Cookie parser, error parser, IP, LR. I do like it when they line up like this, but I don't think I have some of these. Allocate space. Express modules, livereload manager. This app thing probably should be somewhere else. Here maybe. Let's see. Global instances. Actually, that's probably not the right label, but let's put that there for now. That's not happening anymore. Express. No, actually, I should go with the Express stuff, which is where? Up here. I'll put it back there. Express app instance. And then this will crash a bunch of times when I run it. So I think, let's see if we can make it do something. So right now, if I rerun the gulp task, it's going to crash because I can't find a bunch of modules. So I need to do an npm install dash save div. All those things I just put in there. Express, body parser, compression, serve fav icon, cookie parser, error handler, IP. Oops, did I screw this up? Serve fav icon. Getting to the end of our second 15 minutes. So it looks like that worked. Try gulp again. Could not find 1401 livereload though. I guess we have livereload loaded. How am I doing it here again? Oh, I can just do tiny LR. Where's my tiny LR? That would be in here. Thinking about doing my music project as maybe my change up. Oops. Oh, we're gonna go for another 15. It's Sunday. Just want to get something working today. No, we're crashing now. No, CFG is not defined. I think I needed a CFG, so that's probably not passing it along. Config is equal to config or... Can I pass along a parameter to a gulp task? Let's do that. I'm gonna call this mconfig. That's what. Let's call this mapp. This is a convention that I use for my modules, so I know it's a module-defined variable. As opposed to like a passed parameter. Oops, I forgot to set the timer again. Still got levels. I'm worried that this battery's gonna die. I should change it. So let's try running this again. Gulp. Oh, it did something. It's exciting. I don't know if it's actually serving anything though. I guess we'll find out. This is exciting. This is exciting. It says to go to localhost 3000. It's actually working. What? No. Alright, so... But what we haven't done is run the watch. So how do I do that? Let's go back to here. How do I execute a gulp project? Oh wait, I've seen Dane do that. So if I go back to Dane's gulp file, gulp start. That's what it does. Gulp start. Sure, that's the right way. I should just look it up. Actually, let me look at the run sequence thing. So I go back to my gulp file here. I'm using something called run sequence. Run sec. Here I'm forcing the Bower thing. Oh, I forgot there's these callbacks. This is how you actually tell it when you're done. Because I think when I did this order, it didn't work. So I think I'm going to have to duplicate this. Build, callback. Yeah. Run server, debug is true. Default build, run server. Where's run server? It's run server. There's run server. Oh, it's down here. There's the reload stuff. Run server is actually what's starting all the watches. And so his default I'm running build, which has this sequence in it. I think I want to copy that into my build. Here's build. Build is just running Smith. Run sequence. Because we only have one thing that's needed. So there's only one dependency. I'm doing run sequence again. I don't think I'm including run sequence though. That. I should use get grab merge stream while I'm at it. Let's get rid of all these. I got Yargs already. Got Dell. Don't have Argh V. I do have merge. Oh wait, yeah, sorry, merge. Run sequence is up there. Argh V. Yes, actually, I guess I have all those things. So, going back down to my build, I don't have any of these. Yeah, so this will run and then this will run. I wonder if I can just embed it in this sequence. Will it automatically run the sequence? Smith. Yeah, maybe this is... Let's rewrite this. I think eventually this might get more complicated, so we'll do this. I think this will work. That. Let's remove. I thought I removed that. Smith. Callback. Run Smith. And watch. Then my default I want to. Serve. So let's rewrite default. So it does the run sequence thing. That's interesting. Grab this as an example. I might need to move this around later, but let's see if I can get it to work. So what we want this to do is we want it to run clean. It needs to finish clean before it runs build. Then we want it to run Are we doing this right? Wait a moment. Don't think I need it. Yeah, it's just, I'm doing this wrong. So this could just be regular string. That's the task. And then what can we do? Clean, build. These have to execute one after the other. Server and watch can probably run it, launch simultaneously. Because watch just starts a process. So I think that's the run sequence I need. No, that's right. Serve watch. I need to pass the callback with it, I think. This is FP thing. Do I have FP defined? I do not. I guess I'll just copy all of these. These are constants. Yeah. Alright, so we're ready to test this again. get rid of this. So we're going to do clean, build, serve, watch, callback. And this probably will crash in exciting ways. No, wait, there's a crash. Assets not defined. Gulp watch. We don't want assets, we want mer. Sources. This is old code. Sources. And we don't want to do this stuff. We want it to... What do we want it to do? We want build? Ooh. Does this work? So, what how does it work in... When it watches it, we want to re-kick off the build process, I think. But I think the way the metalsmith does it is slightly different. I need to look at another example of it. So what does it do? How do we make it process just one file? Do we need to run it through the entire gulp thing again? Probably. We need to rerun Smith. No. Do we? Oh, actually we could probably just add it to this. Yeah. Because the actual recompiling it doesn't need to be part of the watch. I think. So we could have two watches. Or we just need we don't need to do the live reload here. Or we Argh, what does this do? Okay, let's look at the gulp file again. Gulp file, example rather. File watch. Gulp watch. Oh, not gulp file, I want metalsmith watch. Because this will know how to, it's, this will know how to recompile itself. So here, use watch paths, live reload true, build. When boolean is used, only watched files changed will be rebuilt. It assigns the live reload filter. Oh, but if it relaunches the whole thing, the reason why I'm doing this in the first place is because I was getting these double file instances every time this thing would rerun. Maybe it's worthwhile to look at the metalsmith plugin itself and then steal the right code out of it. There's the license. What's he actually doing? Where would it be? Where's the main file? It's this main is dist index.js. Dist? Where is it? This is just a source. That's hard. This is not the complete package. Did I misread that? Winesmith, Middlesmith watch. Files. Oh, it's probably, I'm maybe in the wrong branch. Branch. This is releases. Is it? It's files. Is it in source? No. It's like dist isn't included. How does this even, how do you load this then? You have to build it yourself? No license. It looks like I'm stuck in more than 15 minutes. I guess I'll just keep this going until it's done. It'll be an extra long Sunday edition. This is going longer than... Let's make a note. This is going way longer than 15 minutes. But it's Sunday. And I can do that. I do want to just get this working. I guess it's worth noting that the 15 minutes is a good way of just getting started on something. And once you're into it, it's easier to get going. At least for me, even though I'm kind of stuck at the moment. I'm trying to figure out where the hell this distribution file is. It's not in the repo. And so it must not install from here. No, what's this? That sounds worrisome. I guess we'll just look at this ES source. It must be this. So what is it doing? This looks complicated. Run update. So it's supposed to fix this collection of stuff, but it doesn't seem to actually do it. Livereload file, or it's like the Metalsmith markdown that's screwing it up. Build files. Oh, I'm getting a headache. This doesn't look like. I was hoping to get some kind of insight into how to use this where I'm doing. I guess we might as well just try putting the watch in there and see what happens. Oh, is this? Let's see if it just gets run. Let's just even get all the way to the end. Nope. What, now where are we crashing? File name is not defined. In where? Gulp anonymous line 171. File name. Oh, that's defined in scope here. That's not necessary for now. Ew, look at this message crap. Oops. Okay, that's running clean now at least. And there's anything's happening in dockroot. And if we go to the server, livereload won't be working, but at least it's doing this. If I save a source article, an index, or not index, not in dockroot, in dockroot source, if I save this, at least the livereload is triggering it here, but then of course it's crashing. Let's see, throw new error. Something is not configured as a task, and run sequence index JS20 task plus T. So in my run sequence on watch, that's not because there is no copy assets. This actually might force the livereload to happen, but it won't actually have an updated file. But that would be a progress. Nope. No tasks provided to run sequence. You know, just for the hell of it, let's just have it run through build. Inefficient, but if it works, that's something. So that, save. So it did run build again, but it didn't force the livereload. At least I don't think it did. Ran Smith. Smith stuff happens here. Mappins. Looks like looking for instances where this got screwed up. Mapp use, ms get port, mapp. Okay. Again, if I change this article, or rather, let's use change index md. This article's here, booyah. This might change it. I can see. Oh, they had to rerun the gulp file. See stuff happening, so it's where's that Middle Smith stuff. Let's get rid of that. Start Express server. Why is that not showing up? It's because of all this. Yeah. So get rid of these. I don't need those messages anymore. Once I get this working, I'll have to commit this to online. Actually make a repo for this. I forgot to start the timer, damn it. Rerunning gulp. Reloading this file. Modifying index. Let's just see if it actually rebuilt it. That'll be here. Let's see, where would it be? Oh, I guess I just reloaded here. That booyah went away, so it did actually change it. I had to manually reload to change it. This is new. Save that. It's triggering the build process here. If I reload this manually, okay, so it is rerunning through the build. It's inefficient because it's rebuilding everything, though, I think. When we really only wanted to rebuild the changed files. But I don't know. Because if I rerun it through Gulpsmith. How know it's changed? It won't. Unless the sources it's provided. Can I pass this a... But I'm wondering if I can pass this the sources, or since it runs it there, I could just modify the sources on the fly. Maybe I could do this. Sources var changes equals sources. Files equals, or file glob is equal to sources plus if sources changed file glob plus equal sources changed. So this way I can actually change if I set sources changed to the pattern before I run it, and then after this runs, it should just be able to leave it here. Sources changed. Alright, so then I can, my watch, I would just tell it what files to process, and that can be very specific. So here in my watch function, let me just see if I can actually tell what it's actually doing. So what I would want to do here, gulp watch sources, blah blah blah. When this function executes, what I want it to do is path, grab the file. This will tell me what files changed. And then I want to set sources changed equals file name, I think. And then it would rebuild that single file. Then it runs sequencing build. Then it tells TinyLR that something's changed, and it should send it to crash. Oh, crash everywhere. Yeah. Okay, where am I crashing? Everywhere. Too many errors. Sources changed is not defined. You mean it's not defined? Oh, I guess it would help if I did define it. Var sources changed equals it's still crashing. Why? Still, where's find in gulp line 93? Did I not? Well, that's still happening. Reference error and plugin. Run sequence Smith. Sources changed is not defined. Gulp on us. Gulp phone 93. Oh, sources changes. Ugh. Okay. So now, if I save the index file, will it only rebuild that one file? Let's see if it's doing it. It's not. It's probably okay. So we need to make sure that it's actually getting console log changes. Oh, that's because the way it sources is defined like that. And so let's make file glob is equal to sources. If sources changed, we want to do this. Sources changed. If sources changed is truey, then we want sources. No, we want file glob sources is equal to sources. Plus this. And then we want file glob plus equal sources changed. If it's true, we want it to add sources changed or this pattern. Let's see, building file glob. Oh, the chipmunk is outside. Crash, what did I screw up? Sources changed is not defined. What do you mean it's not defined? Sources change is right there. Oh, source change. I keep screwing that. I guess that's actually the correct error. Alright. Ah, it worked that time. Well, that because that was the whole glob. So if I remove banana and save it, oh, I don't see anything happening. Uh-oh. I changed index. It's not rerunning. It's not even printing my file glob out. Why is that? Wait, now it's doing it. It's not a template. Sources is what? Dockroot source slash that pattern. It's like the file name it's getting is incorrect. If I rerun this, it's building Dockroot sources, so it's building everything. When I save a file, we want to rerun Smith. Here's warning sources. I should be watching everything. Oh. This is the function that executes when that path. So let's just change this equal to file name. This should be telling me it's running console log, watching sources. Oh, that's not correct anymore. Because of the way I'm doing this file glop stuff. I should turn this into a utility function. So file glob is equal to utility function sources, source files. Utility function u source files file glob. Alright, so now if I run this, reload this, let's change the index file, save that, reload it manually. I'm not seeing it. The watch is not executing. Well, actually it's not getting the specific file, it looks like. This thing seems to be getting the wrong. Looking at this code, I assumed. Oh, like I haven't updated this. I need to do this again. Use source files. So grabbing from sources, I need to get that. File glob is equal to that. And we need to put this here. I need to rerun this. Let's change the index file. Add some exclamation points. So now here it says it's building doc.root source index md. And it's not, still not doing anything. Because it's telling me it's building that, but is it actually building it? Building. Smith is running. Let's take a look at the files. Console log. Object keys. Files. They'll tell us all the files that have passed through this function. I think. Let's see what it does. This will tell us all undefined. What? Oh, because I'm doing stupid. Object keys. Files. I should turn all the missing. So it's getting index, articles pizza MD, articles test MD. And that's everything in the file object after it's gone through collections. And then it should transform all that stuff. So if I save my indexed file, it's not seeing anything in the file list. Watching doc root source. That's not right. I can get this to work, that'd be awesome. Watching doc root source. This should be this. Alright, so boom. There's all the things that it's watching. If I save any content files, it's saying it's building doc root source. Oh, it's doubled. Why is it doubled? That would explain a lot. In fact, file glob is use source files. File glob plus sources. Sources changed being set to too much. So sources changed is equal to file name. File name itself is probably watching file glob. Oh wait, this needs to be up here. Watching file glob, and then we want down here. We want this relative not to dir name, but we want this relative to dir name plus sources, I think. Console log changed file name. Gulp. Let's change if I save this indexed file. Building doc root source. Build doc root source index MD. That's kind of closer to what I wanted, but oh, it added exclamation points. It's not working here though. Building doc root source changed. I want to produce a single file listing like it did here. Maybe my build chain is different because this is going through the collections thing. It's trying to find, okay, this is what's happening. The file glob here is processing the collections, and there are no collections. So because when it walks through and uses this permalinks thing, I guess it won't actually do anything. So I guess I need to duplicate this pipeline. I guess it can't work because it doesn't need to rebuild the whole thing. Maybe it won't be too bad. I'm kind of worried that it'll be really slow. But maybe in the meantime I won't worry about it. So the collections are filtering out. I guess one way to do it would just be to let me just try wedging in the actual file name that's changing. And so this would be watching. Oh, wait, we actually don't want to watch it. This runs once. Use source files here will be the first time through. This actually should be sources. I guess that works. Sources change should be false. The first time this runs. Let's make sure that's true. Before we call this. Let's just watch everything. And so this should trigger on everything. And then what happens when the watch function executes? It figures out where that path is. What is event path? Maybe it doesn't need this massaging crap. Oops. Crashity, crashity, crashity. Callback is not function. I guess that doesn't happen. It just executes it right away, huh? Or there is no callback. Try again. Save it in the next file. And it's giving me a complete path here. I guess I really want it relative to dockroot source. Path relative. So I saved pizza. Yeah, I was getting it out of articles. Okay. How do I generate the relative path to that? I mean, it should work. Dir name plus dockroot source should do it. Sources is set to, as I recall, dockroot source. Dir name plus dockroot source. Does dir name have a trailing slash? I don't know. Changed, blah, 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 blah. That's dir name. Dir name plus dockroot source. Does not have a trailing slash. So now this should at least save this file. Now it's saying it's in. Actually, is it working? Building doc root source index. Change index MB, doc root source index MD, index MD. That actually might have done something. So if I reload this, this is going to be that one. Oh, but it doesn't have the list of complete articles. Booyah. Save this. It's rebuilding it at least. But it's rebuilding it incorrectly. So I probably don't want it to rebuild the index file. I guess I really want it to rebuild everything. Is that true? I could add logic here for specialness. It kind of works though. Let's add a switch. Well, now that this works, let's see if we can just get this to do the live reload thing, which is not happening. It's building it correctly. It's building the subfiles too. So if I save, oh, maybe it's not. If I save pizza MD, it should be also doing it. But I'm not seeing anything happen. Save index. Oops, it crashes. And now it's starting. Throw error, unhandled error event. Permission denied. Make your users pizza making. Maybe my destination's changed too, isn't it? So use collections, blah blah blah. Use assets, sources, assets, dest. No, that should be right. HTML is doc root. Looks like it blew up. But I couldn't write the file. Tried to write the users directory. Why would it do that? Why would it do right to the users directory? On watch. This is just setting up the watch. Watching this. File glob will be just doc root sources. This should never be rewatched. Unless I have a loop set up somehow. Starts the service, so blah blah watch. This only one runs. Let's try running it again. So this is running. It's compiled all the things. If I save index HTML, it is changing. If I save it a bunch of times, does it load up and eventually die? Doesn't look like it now, but if I save pizza HTML, there we get an access error. Permission denied. Don't know where it's happening. Oh, and it also looks like it stripped out articles. Why would that be? The relative path should not have been. Let's make sure. Console log changed file event path. It's running. If we save this, should say what changed. Users, nerdman of doc-root source articles, pizza. Here it's saying build doc-root source. Where's that building message coming from? Should I be rebuilding? Oh. So for some reason... Alright, let's walk through this. The file glob in this case is going to be something different. I think the file glob actually needs to be a directory, not a specific file. So files changed. The sources changed. Can't merely be file. It needs to actually be the, not the relative path. Var dir name is equal to, what's the path? Path get directory node. Look at the documentation for path. And I just want the directory. Is it just dir name path? Path dir name. It's the same as the dir name command. What was I? Require path, dir name, file name, and then sources changed is equal to this plus I think it's I think that would be the glob pattern. Believe it when I see it though. So we save the index file. It's passing index md, which is correct. So if we're saving pizza, we are getting pizza md and test md, but we are not getting the source directory. Why is that? Well, it did glob everything out of that. Maybe we actually need to do the more extreme, this version. So if I save pizza md now, I'm still getting those. Dir name. It should end up being console log. Unless I'm misunderstanding how this, what this function, when this function is executing. You sourced files. Just seeing it. It's running that, and then when I saved it, again, it's she doesn't seem to have run my code at all. Oops. What I should be seeing is some output. So save pizza md, you get the crash. But where is my doc-root source? Sort directory, yep. articles, that's the pattern. It's building everything here. However, it's not getting directory name. I'm gonna guess this is some sort of weirdness with Metalsmith not being able to handle rerunning this process that way. Is there a is the module itself maintaining state when I run it like this? Well, I would have changed my object keys, and they should have changed that too. Pattern. Maybe it only does it if I don't understand why this not able to write at the correct error place. Oh, maybe I should have implemented the bugger support. That's a pain in the ass. I'm just gonna have it rebuild everything now. So let's see. Watching this, when it changes, let's just have it do build. Respecify to build in Smith. This now should rebuild everything. So if I save piece of MD, it's getting all of that, and it's not dying. But is it updating? So this should be in localhost articles, pizza making, triggering inspiration. Save that. That's at least working correctly. But why is the live reload not right? Live reloading. To avoid rebuilding everything. This is not working. It's running the sequence, and then it's supposed to be running this. But I don't see anything happening. Should see something. I'm getting a headache. Get rid of that object keys thing. Now what? Object keys. Rerun that. And if I save this file, I should see a message. So I did see something. It did run my function. Which is where? So it ran build. TinyLR changed body. Files file name. Did I actually see anything happen? No, I'm not actually probably including live reload here in my source layout template. That would explain. No, I'm pretty sure I did. Let's find out. In layout Jade, link style sheet. Oh, that's the wrong one. In layout Jade. I don't have live. Oh, maybe I don't. Oh, there is live reload. Let's try to pull it out of localhost. Bada bada bada. but it's sticking HTTP in front of it. Will that work? That site can't be reached. Let's take a look here and see. I should see a JavaScript error then. Let's fail to load resource. Oops. Can't find livereload.js. Oh, there's that. When I configure live reload, it should have made that stuff, but maybe I didn't configure it. Tiny LR. Yeah, I didn't configure it. That should be happening in serve, I think, or in the beginning of watch. I need to set up the live reload, which is where, let's look at how I'm doing it here. Tiny, oops, that would be in start live reload. I had to set up the listener. Listen config live reload port. That should not be config. This should be mconfig. 13 matches. mconfig. mconfig. So once it's listening, I think that will set up the JavaScript file serving. So it sort of did something. I can't tell if it actually live reloaded it though. Doesn't look like it did. So at least it's a script loading now. A script is loading. So we're getting fewer errors now. This can't load the article CSS because it's looking for articles, pizza making assets. That's correct. Why is it even layout Jade? Where's the style sheet? I think I'm overriding it in an article. Jade. Link roster assets. It should probably be this. Okay, that error went away at least. If I save this, something's happening though. Change to file detected. It's rebuilding all the sources. But it's not triggering the live reload itself. I'm seeing the changed file. And it's building. Let's build. That runs LR changed. This should send a message up to the live reload server. But that presumes live reload's listening. Did I not set these correctly? should say livereload's listening up here somewhere. It doesn't seem to be. Let's see. That's correct. Once watching is going, this I should see this message. Mconfig livereload port. Where am I setting mconfig? Am I not doing it? I am not doing it. Alright. I do have an mdefig defined. Equals well, under serve it should be being set up. Oh, it's like because I'm not making dumb mistakes. Let's listen. Mconfig livereload port. Where's that mconfig stuff? Looks like just two things are missing. Livereload, no, maybe that's one thing. Mconfig livereload port. Another serve. Under a watch. What's this? This is incorrect. Starting to fade. It's running. Not sure what. This isn't happening. It's like I'm not seeing any event. It's like the livereload's not triggering, but I'm gonna take a break from this, I think. Anyway, my battery's low. Why is this not timing? All right, so I'm still kind of in the middle of this. Maybe I'll try to come back to this later. And why is this double printing now? That's mysterious. My impressions of Metalsmith are dimming. What's the name of that? Articles test. Is that twice? Jumbotron is coming out twice. Layout Jade. No, let's say Jumbotron. Let it recompile this time. Looks like it's crashed. No, it's a Jade template, so it's not going to recompile on that. Okay. If I save, let's go to pizza. Let's try seeing this one more time and see if anything happens. This is rebuilding. All right, I'm done for this for now. I have a massive headache. Need to go back to sleep. But that was a long 15 minutes, so it was like more like, what, an hour? Hour and a half? It's almost 2 hours, so I am going to rest. Maybe I'll come back to this later when I'm feeling more refreshed. I'll try to figure out why the live reload isn't triggering. I could just switch to browser sync, but I'll do that after I get this working, just so I understand what's going on. Anyway, so that's the long-ass 15-minute stream. I'll see y'all later, I guess.